Welcome to the Nolan and Connor podcast. This is episode 1, and we are going to be ranking Big Ten schools.
Hello.
And where we would want to, go, party life, academics, things like that. So
now, I have a question, though. Are we ranking this as if we are living life as a student-athlete or just as a student? Because I'm assuming that...
Which one do you want to do? But if we go student-athlete, I feel like we're gonna go based off like how good the team
So
is.
then let's just go as a student.
Okay.
Because, we'll choose based on teams if we don't.
So I guess I'll start off, and we'll go with the teams that... This is the worst. Like, we do not want to go here. So, and then we'll go down the list.
Now, this is a disclaimer, every
great.
school in the Big Ten is great.
They're all great. All great schools.
So
great parties, great academics, great location, but obviously some are better than others. So I'll start off breaking the ice, and I'll say that the worst school in the Big Ten to attend would be Maryland. And the reason I say that, even as a student standpoint, the location of Maryland, it's not that great. Maryland, Indianapolis, Baltimore, it's one of those. I forget which one, but neither are great cities. There's just not a whole lot to do in Maryland, especially when you go to Maryland. It's on the less party side of the Big Ten, student side. Sports are never any good. You never hear anything big from Maryland, and it's just a dry campus overall. And I just feel like out of all these 18 schools, Maryland is just the worst. But let's see what Connor has to say.
Well, while I do agree Maryland is definitely on the weaker side of the Big Ten, I have a hate for one of these schools, and it's more of a personal vendetta, and I think that, some people they'll disagree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. But personally, the Big Ten school that you will never catch me ever considering to submit my application to is Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska is the worst state in the United States. There's nothing to do there. No, I'm not going to say that they don't have a good campus, but I don't like Nebraska. The state's awful.
Okay.
Politically, it's just a mess. It's not where you want to be.
Yeah.
So no, Nebraska is going to be my 18, and we're going to go on commercial break real quick here. Stoney's short story now available on YouTube. Connor_0925. I repeat, Stoney, the short film is now available on YouTube. Connor_0925.
Oh, now we're back from that commercial. Shout out to Connor0925's YouTube channel for sponsoring this podcast. We are very appreciative. So now, going into the 17th worst Big Ten school, in my opinion. Oh, crap. Sorry, did not mean to do that. Got a little ad. So, okay. So, Nebraska, I think, was not a bad pull by Connor. I definitely think it's on the lower side. But I do think in between Maryland and Nebraska, there is a school worse than that. So I'm going to go ahead and say I think it is Iowa. The reason I say Iowa is because
I like it.
Iowa is a boring state. Honestly, I'd argue more boring than Nebraska.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Sports are never also that great. The colors aren't that great. It's also on the weaker side of parties and just academics in the Big Ten. You guys have Caitlin Clark, and now she's just back in Indiana. So, congrats. You didn't even win. You didn't even win with her. So, it's a fine college and all. It's just so much better, and also just not a very good location.
And I have the same in my 17 slot, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it because Nolan covered most of the points I have. I completely agree. Iowa's an awful state. I've been there. It's nothing. There's nothing to do for miles and miles. They might have the worst colors in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the school. I would never, ever even think about going there. I don't even think they're that great academically, honestly. I don't think academically they're going to provide you with much.
For sure.
So, yeah, I agree. So we both have Iowa in our 17 slot.
All right. So now we'll just go to the 16 then pretty quick. I'll wrap this one up pretty quick. The 16, I'm going to go Nebraska, as Connor said. Also almost the same points as Iowa. Not very good at sports. A horrible location. Nothing to do in Nebraska. You guys have decent colors. That's all I can give you.
Football can be solid sometimes for Nebraska, but
right.
they have a great stadium, great atmosphere there. But
overall, they're so much better.
Yeah, there's just the Big Ten is just a loaded conference,
So that's gonna round off my top 3 worst teams. So now let's hear Connor's.
So now this is where where it gets tricky for me between Maryland and Rutgers. I can't stand either of these schools. I think Rutgers is one of the most overrated schools in the Big Ten, mainly just because I don't think there's – I just don't like New Jersey.
It's a very smart academic school, though.
It is gifted in academics, but, you know, I feel like there's just so much better. But I'm going to go Maryland. I don't really know much about the school, to be completely transparent with Maryland. I don't like their logo, though, and I don't like the location of Maryland or Rutgers. So, I mean, I guess I can just list my 16 and my 15 there. It's going to go Maryland 16, Rutgers 15.
All right.
So you can go ahead and list your 16, 15.
Okay, so for my 16, coming from an IU fan, truly not trying to be biased here, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say Purdue. And the reason I'm going to say Purdue is because Purdue is a fine school. Purdue's a fine school. They have good basketball. It's a good party life. Not the best, but it's good.
Don't love the campus.
But the reason I say Purdue is 16 is just because Lafayette is just such a dry area. There's nothing to do there. You're really not close to anything. That's the problem with Lafayette. You're not very close to Indianapolis, and you're not like.
And even Indianapolis in itself is not much.
Yeah, you're not even close to it, and like you're not close to anything. It's just not as good. The girls there aren't that good. So much better in the Big Ten.
Oh, I mean, there's way more snow buddies in IU.
Yeah,
IU's got way better.
So I mean, honestly, Purdue. Not even trying to be biased because you guys have better basketball than IU. It's just, I would say, location-wise, colors, it's just not for me. And then for my 15 spot, I'm going to have to go Rutgers. I think Rutgers is, a lot of people hate on Rutgers. I've always kind of defended it. I think it's a cool school. I like the location. I like the academics, hard to get in there.
You'd want to go to a school in New Jersey?
Do I want to?
You'd want to go to a school in New Jersey? Like, because me, I'd rather go to Purdue than Rutgers. I do not, and I'm right with you on the Purdue train. I'm not a big fan. I think their campus looks awful. Yeah. I do not like their campus.
There's just so much better schools than Rutgers. I mean, it's a good school. I'd be blessed to go there. It's a very smart school. I don't even think I'm smart enough for Rutgers, but it's just, it's just they don't do much. You never hear anyone come out of Rutgers. You never hear, oh, look at this party at Rutgers University. Everyone got lit. Like, it's just, so that, that'll be my 15. It'll be Rutgers. So now we'll go on to the 14 spots.
14th slot, I'm going to go slide in with one of Nolan's previous picks. I'm going to go Purdue.
Okay.
Like I previously stated, I've been to the campus. Don't love it. I think it looks like a big prison college campus. Mm-hmm. Extremely dry, and the thing is it's smart academically, but it's not like smart enough to where it's an advantage to you. You aren't going to go to Purdue and get some advantage because of your academics.
You're not going to go to Purdue and they're going to be like, oh, he's smart. He went to Purdue.
Like, no. Because it's really not. At that point, it's like, why not go to IU? Mm-hmm. Because with IU, maybe they're a little less academically gifted there at IU.
But you're
getting so much more of a better college experience at IU. So, Purdue, nothing around it, like I said, or like Nolan said. Lafayette, there's nothing there. So, that's why I'm having Purdue where they're at. Which that was our 14, right?
Yeah, that was our 14. All right, so now we're going to take a commercial break because we need to. And I want some time to think because now is when it starts to get a little harder because all these schools are pretty good. So let's go.
Boys of Creation, new album, dropping next week. Here we go. It's lit.
All right, so now we're going into, is this our 14?
14 slot.
14, all right. So now, honestly, is when it starts to get a little bit more difficult because all these schools are in heavy consideration of where I like to go. I think they'd all be pretty fun, pretty cool. But, there's obviously, you have to go down the train. You have to go down the ladders. There's obviously better than others. So for my 14th, maybe surprising to some, I don't know. I don't know if this is a hot take or cold take, but I'm going to go Michigan State.
No, that's not a cold take at all.
And the reason I'm going to go Michigan State is for multiple reasons. Michigan State over the years used to be a way better sports team. They used to provide in football. They used to provide in basketball.
I don't like the colors either.
They just don't do that anymore. Where's the Lansing? Lansing is not a great town to live in. It's not safe. It's not anything really that fun. It's not even, it's really not all that. I'm sure Michigan State is a pretty fun school to go to overall, but just for me, in my opinion, all the rest of the schools left, I think I'd rather go to. So that's my 14th.
No, in the 13, I'm going to have a school that...
You have to go 14.
I already did my 14. It was, I went... I'm pretty sure I did.
I went
Purdue my 14. I went Purdue my 14.
Oh, okay.
So now for my 13, because I'm one ahead of you right now. In my 13, I'm going with a school that, this might be surprising to anyone listening that knows me personally. Because I'm a very big fan of the area. I think that this school is amazing, but for me, and this podcast, we're talking about ourselves, about where we would want to go. I would never want to go to Northwestern. It's an amazing school.
Damn.
It's an amazing school. But academically, I wouldn't be able to keep up with the school.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I'd never get accepted there. But obviously, this is a hypothetical. But I wouldn't want to take the rigorous courses. I don't see it being a very fun college to go to whatsoever.
It's true.
I don't
Location
see.
is great though.
I don't see many things going on there. I don't see it being a good fit for me. I want a good, fun college experience, and I don't think Northwestern will do that for me. The only reason I kept it this long is because I know that if I did graduate with a degree from Northwestern, that would open up a bunch of opportunities for me because of how, it's just such a prestigious college. I mean, definitely probably a top 10 public university in the country in terms of prestige. But, it's not for me, and it's nowhere I'd ever end up, honestly. So that's why I have to put him in the 13, even though Northwestern is such a good college.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not gonna say I agree with you, but I mean I respect it. You gave good opinions. So for my 13th, man, this is hard. I think for my 13th, I think I'd go Wisconsin. The reason I go Wisconsin is because it's a fine school. I know there's tons of parties, tons of people who go there. It's just one thing about Wisconsin is, also not a whole lot to do there, especially in the area. I mean, Madison's great, but, it's not Milwaukee. It's not the rest of these cities around it. In the summertime, it's crowded, full of mosquitoes. Horrible place to be in the summer, and just never really that good sports. I mean, they've had some good players in the past, like Jonathan Taylor. Probably more than I'm missing. Definitely more, but, I just think the rest of these schools left are just a little bit better, so that's my opinion.
So now we're moving on to the 12, correct?
Yeah, you're 12, I think. Yeah. Because you went
Northwestern,
you went
13.
Nebraska. These are not in order. You said Maryland, Rutgers, Nebraska, Iowa, Purdue, and then you said...
Yeah, we're in the 12. We're in the 12 right now.
We're going to Minnesota or Wisconsin.
All right. Now for my 12 spot. I'm keeping Michigan State in here too long.
It's true.
I'm keeping Michigan State in here far too long, but I'm also keeping Minnesota in here too long. So, honestly, it's a coin flip between which one of them goes next. I wouldn't go... I'd never go to Minnesota. I would never go to Minnesota, so they're going to be in my 12. The thing is these other schools I've said that are behind it are like schools some of them like Northwestern, obviously, like I would go if I was a different type of person. But I'm not the kind of person who would go to Northwestern. I'm not the type of person who'd go to Purdue. I'm not the type of person that'd go to Rutgers, Maryland, Nebraska, Iowa. So that's why I went with those schools already. Minnesota's, I feel like, more of just like a normal state college like IU and like Illinois. It's not like something crazy. It's just nothing special either, though. And I think that honestly, once I get past Michigan State, then I'll be on the 10 spot. Once you get to that 10 spot, that's 10 very special colleges. Mm-hmm. 10 colleges that I would be thrilled to go to.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I got to get rid of Minnesota. And then you guys know, I'm just going to go ahead and list off my 11 Michigan State as well. To be honest, I don't really know much about Michigan State. All I know is ugly colors, not a great location, and it's not the best college in the state, in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no. Not Michigan State or Minnesota for me. So now that's my 12 and 11, so now I'm on to my 10, but no one's up.
Am I on my 13?
You're on your 12.
Okay, I'll do my 12 and 11 then too.
Yeah.
All right, so for my 12 and 11, this is honestly going to be surprising to people. All right, so for my 12 and 11, it's crazy because all these schools left I love. like, I mean, I love the Big Ten Conference in general. I love the commercial, I love everything. But
Commercial is great.
yeah, for my 12, it kind of sucks because I would love to go here. I'll go Minnesota. I love the colors. A lot of people don't like the colors. I love the colors. I love the Gophers mascot. I think that's dope. As Connor said, though, it is also just kind of like another state college, probably pretty similar to going to IU, Illinois, Ohio State, just things like that. So I'll go Minnesota. Hurts to put it there though because I'd love to go there as a student. I think it'd be really fun. And for my 11, probably surprising too, I'll go USC.
Wow.
The reason I go USC is because one, I've never liked USC. I don't know why. I've always had something against it. I hate watching them play in every sport. And another reason is just I know it's a very expensive school. It's
now we're taking price.
It's a very expensive school. Okay. California is a very expensive area. It's not even in the best part of California. I would much rather go to UCLA.
Now USC is. I agree with you on the fact that out of the 4 West Coast schools in the Big Ten, it's definitely the worst.
Yeah, I
agree with that take, but I do not think that is would you have it in your 11th?
Yeah,
I definitely think it's better than the 11th school.
It's also a pretty smart school too. I'm in a smart school in California, paying tons of money to go to a very smart school. I probably couldn't even keep up in just to watch some okay sports. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's not for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that at 11, which is surprising, but it's what I think.
Okay, respectable.
No, it's top 10. Let's just go 2 at a time. So,
okay, now on the 10.
10 and 9.
I'm gonna go IU. Really like it. Campus is beautiful. I wouldn't say beautiful. Campus is nice.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Campus is nice. I've been to Bloomington. Bloomington's a great college town. Definitely one of the best college towns, I think, in the Big Ten. But I mean, I also haven't been to the other college towns as much as I've been to IU. Being from, just 30 minutes north of Bloomington, it's pretty accessible to get there. But I think if you want a college experience and you're from Indiana, that is the college to go to.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it's a great college. I mean, the fact that it's the 10th says a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see myself ending up there one day, but is it my first option in the Big Ten? No. These other schools that I'm going to name, though, I don't know if you're taking this into accountability. I'm not really taking, the fact that I'm in Indiana. I would never go to, UW because I live in Indiana and I wouldn't want to leave my family. But I'm not going to hold that against University of Washington because of the fact that, I won't see my family. So I'm naming this off of just how much I'd like to go to the school if that's not a factor. So I got IU in my 10, and then I'm going to go... Have I still not said...
You haven't said Wisconsin.
I still haven't said Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Then Wisconsin in my 10, and then flip that around and put IU in my 9. I don't know enough about Wisconsin, to be honest. I just... what's the town it's in called?
It's Madison.
Yeah, Madison. I just don't know much about it, and I think that the reason why it ends up around the same place is just another state college. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it serves its purpose well. I'm sure there's a lot of great people there. But I don't know enough about it to really rank it that well, anyways. But I think that it's pretty. I'm pretty sure it's a mid-tier Big Ten school, and I think I have it in the right spot in the 10, and then IU in the 9, because I think I definitely have a better experience going to IU than I would Wisconsin.
All right, so now for my 10 and 9. For my 10, I'm just going to go ahead and put these schools both because I can get rid of them both because they're in the same state. So for my 10, I'm going to put Northwestern. Beautiful college, beautiful campus. It's a very hard college, though. Smart. So as Connor said earlier, one of the best public universities there is in the whole world. It's just... in the grand scheme of things, sports aren't that good. Parties aren't great. It's a very smart school. They have lots of homework, lots of stuff to do. And then for my 9, I'll go Illinois. And the reason I go Illinois is because I feel like compared to IU, Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, even though I already said Wisconsin, scratch that. Just mainly IU, Michigan, Ohio State. Just it's bordering neighboring schools around it. I feel like it's the little brother. Not even in a sports factor. It's just if I wanted to have a student life more so, I would go to IU, Michigan, or Ohio State any day before I went to
Now, I
Illinois.
could see student life being better there, but definitely Illinois, out of those schools you named, is easily the best academically.
Yeah.
It's easily a top 5 university, or it's considered in the new public Ivies. You know, it's definitely one of the best public colleges. You know, I'm a huge Illinois guy, but yeah, I definitely think you're severely underrating Illinois. But you know, it's all good. It's your opinion.
It's
but
top 10 though. It's top 10.
Top 10. Yeah.
I mean, I just in my opinion, I just feel
There's
like,
just, I mean, and I can't really be mad at it just because there's so many schools in the Big Ten. You know,
So now we'll go 8 and 7.
8 and 7.
Now it's where it gets really, really hard because all these schools are great.
Yep.
But
Now in the 8, I think I'm gonna go. Ohio State in the 8.
it's over 100K students. It's a lot of people.
Too many people. I feel
yeah,
as if
too many.
it's just.
It's probably like 200 kids a class.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want my teachers hand me a freaking packet, yo.
Yeah. Some kids don't learn that way. It's true.
Some kids learn face to face. So, Ohio State. I mean, I'm sure it would be the great time. You know, I'm sure I'd love it. But, and then I'm gonna put another school right next to it that I think is pretty similar to Ohio State, except I think I'd like. I enjoy my time there more because of the sports and because of the academic life being better. Penn State in the 7. So, yeah, I think that's my 8 and 7 is Ohio State, Penn State.
So for my 8 and 7, for my 8, I'm gonna put Michigan. The reason I'll put Michigan is because Ann Arbor also isn't a great location. The thing about Michigan, it doesn't really have any great locations. You know, football there is amazing. Actually, it was amazing. It's got a little worse. But,
Beat Bama this year in a bowl game,
yeah,
so
it's
beat
true.
Ohio State.
And they beat Ohio State. But
Which we'll
overall,
see if they win the Natty.
Overall,
tomorrow.
though, it's just not. Obviously, those games are huge, but it's just not what it used to be.
Well, they'll definitely bounce back here soon.
But I mean, it's just Michigan though. There's this. I mean, it's a great school. I don't love the colors really that much, and it's weather isn't great either. So I feel like I'm not missing out too much. So I'll put that at the 8. For my 7, I'll go ahead and put Ohio State too. You know, I'd like to go to a bigger college, but over 100K students is too big. You know, I mean, that's just crazy. Obviously, like I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna meet tons of people, but like 100K, like come on, that's
There's
like
a point where it
that's like
becomes too much.
yeah, that's like a town. That's like a capital of something. So I mean, maybe it'd be fun, but I'm gonna put that out. You know, great sports too, but it's just 100K is too much. I wouldn't even. It's just too much. So yeah, that'll be my 7.
All right, now 6 spot. I'm going Michigan. I'm not a big Michigan guy, honestly, but I know how gifted the school is academically. It's probably the top 5 academic school on here. Maybe not top 5, but definitely like top 7 probably. It's a great school. Agree with Nolan. Don't like the colors that much. And also kind of the same philosophy with Ohio State with me is I feel like there's a lot of people who go to Michigan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge school. For me, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State all kind of mesh into the same group. I feel like they're kind of interchangeable, you know. So with those 3, you know, I think you could kind of switch them around and do what you want with them. Then the 5, I'm going to go USC, as it's definitely the last West Coast school I'd go to, although it is, I'm sure, a beautiful school. I'm sure they have amazing parties. I'm sure the student life is amazing. I'm sure the campus is amazing. Like Nolan stated, it is probably extremely expensive, but I'm kind of taking that less into account, to be honest, because if I was taking price into account, I probably wouldn't have schools like Oregon, UCLA, UW still even in this, honestly, because all those West Coast schools are extremely expensive. But I think that I think USC definitely deserves a spot in the top 5. So I think that's the school we probably disagree with the most is USC. Yeah. But I'm just a big West Coast school, Big Ten guy, even though I don't really like that they added them. I think that they're amazing schools, you know, whether they're in the Big Ten or not, you know.
Yeah. All right, so it's now my what is it, 6-5?
6-5.
Okay, so for my 6-5, for my 6, I'm going to put UCLA. And the reason I'm going to put UCLA is because, another reason California isn't a very great place to live, especially right now. Los Angeles, you don't want to be there. All the fires. Also just expensive. I mean, it's a cool school. definitely. I just don't get the same Big Ten nostalgia vibe that I would get at the other schools. Even though some of the schools that haven't named yet are also new to the Big Ten, it's just I like them way more. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my 6. And then finally, I've been biased this whole time, but I'll put it in now. So for my 5, I'll put IU. I mean, IU. I've been an IU fan my whole life. I'll always be an IU fan. I'll always root for them. It means a lot. School means a lot to me. The sports do. But you know, you just have to be honest with yourself when there's better schools than IU, and you know it's hard because IU, great parties, great colors, great atmosphere, great campus, but these other schools that I have, man, it's just better. It's just better. I'll be honest. So love IU, I always will, but that'll be my 5.
And this is where my bias ends too as well. University of Illinois, I'm going in the 4. I've been to Champaign at countless times. Their football stadium is amazing. Their basketball stadium is arguably the best in the Big Ten, in my opinion, once you go. I mean, you realize you can get a seat anywhere in that place, and you can see perfect. It gets electric in there. I've been an Illinois fan my whole life. I just think it's absolutely beautiful, and I hope to end up there one day, honestly, because of how it's not too far from home, and, you know, it's a great academic school. And it's about the same smart. The thing is that I think that people underrate about University of Illinois is it combines the smartness level of Purdue, the intelligence level of Purdue, with the student life of IU. And I think that's what makes it such an elite school that people overlook. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be my 4.
Wait, we have to hurry, though.
Oh, yeah, okay. And then my 3 slot, UCLA. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's just California, I mean, yeah, you can have your complaints about price, but
LA too.
It's just such a great. You can't beat the experience at UCLA. I mean, it's good academic. It's hard to get into. It's great school, but I won't harp on that too long because we got to hurry here.
All right, so I'm on 4-3. Is that it?
You're on 4-3.
Okay, so for my 4, I'll put Penn State.
Surprised Penn State lasts this long.
Great student life, great sports. Football stadium is honestly
arguably
one of the
best
best.
in the Big Ten.
Loudest. So definitely them. So I believe I have 3 schools left, which would be Oregon, Washington, and what have I not said yet? What have I not said yet? I think I said all of these, except these 2. Yeah, I have. So I think I missed the number. Because I've said all of these schools, so.
Okay.
All right. I guess I've.
Well, I already know what your number 1's going to be.
So I guess I'll go past that because I've said all the schools. My number 2 will be Washington. I've actually been to Washington's campus this summer. It was amazing. Right on the coast. The coast has the best weather. West Coast has the best weather ever. It was beautiful. I loved it so much, and I hope I can go there again someday. But my number 1, for me, a no-brainer. The greatest state in the USA would be Oregon. It's magical there. You see stuff you've never seen before. The people, everything about it. It's just the greatest state. And going to college there for running, which is what I like. But I'm also a student, so I guess it doesn't matter. But the parties there are great. The college campus is great. Everything about it, the colors, the facility, the location, everything about it is perfect. So, yep, that'll be my number 1. It'll be Oregon.
And we got the same 2 in our top 2, except mine are changed around. Because I got Oregon, I've never been to either of these campuses. I've never even been to Washington or Oregon. I don't think I've been west of Kansas in my entire life. But I'm going to go Oregon in my 2, Washington in my 1, solely because of Washington's academics. The Huskies, I think it's just such an amazing school. I think that it's definitely the most beautiful campus on this list. But I mean, the mountains, everything, the West Coast, it's just such a beautiful part of America, and I think it's amazing I think it's just amazing for the Big Ten. And I think that our lists were pretty solid, pretty similar most of the way.
I would say USC is probably the only thing that we disagree on.
USC and Penn State we disagreed on quite a bit. But
other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was our first podcast. Hopefully we can keep them coming.
Yeah, but leave recommendations in the comments for what you guys would like us to make an episode on. But, we hope you guys have a good one. And
peace.
See you guys. Peace later. Peace out.